In this video, we will introduce our approach to a haptic VR training environment for a micro-robotic cell injection. Cell injection is the process of inserting a small volume of material, such as protein, DNA, sperm, or biomolecules, into a specific location of a cell. The technology has been widely adopted in drug development, toxicology, cell biology research, in vitro fertilization, and transgenics. Conventionally, micro-robotic cell injection is performed manually by an expert biooperator. The task requires the biooperator to perform operations such as moving the micropipette appropriately in order to penetrate the cell membrane. This requires a high level of skill. Biological cell injection requires the biooperator to approach the immobilized cell with the micropipette, puncture the cell membrane at a suitable location, insert the micropipette's tip into the cell, and then deposit the specific material in the cell. It is common for the procedure to be performed by experts who have undertaken extensive training and developed years of experience in order to be proficient at the task. However, despite extensive training, success rates can still remain low. One reason for this is that successful injection is not necessarily repeatable. Conventional cell injection skill training uses real cells and equipment as training tools. The extensive equipment used in training could also be exposed to excessive and inappropriate use by inexperienced users, thereby posing significant financial risks. Finally, the training involves complicated human ethics issues as it deals with real animal or human cells. In order to overcome these problems, we propose a virtual training system for cell injection that can provide visual and haptic feedback to users. Using a virtual replication of the cell injection setup, it is suggested that operators can train offline in a similar manner to which they would in a real-world system. After receiving adequate training, operators can then transfer their skills to the real environment. Such a training system offers several benefits, including reduced costs, low maintenance, and the ability to augment the virtual environment with helpful tips and aids and pertinent information. To support portability, the system utilizes the reconfigurable multi-purpose haptic device from our previous work. The haptic interface offers two linkable phantom omni-haptic devices fixed on linear rotary stages and a series of low-cost attachments. To reduce the amount of external ancillary hardware, a computer and power supply are installed within the base of the system. Therefore, to use the system, only a display, keyboard, and mouse are required to be connected. The virtual environment consists of a three-dimensional representation of a micro-robotic cell injection setup. Using the mouse, the display on screen can be reoriented and zoomed to a desired view. To begin the procedure, the setup is simply initialized, and the virtual injection micropipette is mapped to the stylus of the haptic device. The injection can be performed by moving the haptic stylus, directing the virtual micropipette to approach the cell. During this movement, the user will be provided with haptic guidance in the form of a conical virtual fixture to guide them following the ideal trajectory to the suitable penetration point at the cell membrane. Once the micropipette's tip reaches the penetration point, push the micropipette further towards the center of the cell to pierce the membrane. Here, users will feel a gradually intensified repulsive force as they try to penetrate the cell membrane. This is followed by a sudden drop of force, indicating the rupture of the membrane. The micropipette then has to be stopped as close as possible to the center of the cell to perform the deposition. In order to prevent the user from overshooting, which can cause damage to the cell, a planar virtual fixture is provided, constraining the micropipette from passing the deposition target. This concludes our approach to a haptic VR training environment. Directions for future work include further utilizing the VR functionality to provide virtual instructions and cues to assist in the training process. Thank you for your attention.